Hi, College and Career Success. Welcome to week 5 of our summer semester. We are now officially halfway through our course. So in week 5, you're going to see here, you have your week 5 videos as always. We're covering chapters 7 and 8 this week, so you want to make sure that you spend time either in the lecture videos or go ahead and pop into the materials folder and spend time in the text links themselves or in the slideshows, just so you're interacting with the material in some way. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you're doing this week. So as I said, we're in chapters 7 and 8. And so you have a full week. It kind of looks like a few other weeks we've had already. You'll have 2 discussion boards, chapter 7 and chapter 8. You need to post your original response in both of those by Wednesday for weekly attendance. Respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. And then you have a chapter 7 assignment, a chapter 7 quiz, a chapter 8 assignment, and a chapter 8 quiz. All of those are due by Sunday as well. This video right now that you're watching is just going to cover the chapter 7 portion so that the video is not too lengthy. And then I'll come back and cover the chapter 8 assignments. So with chapter 7, we will go ahead and jump in. You have a discussion post, so it's going to open you up. Here's the prompt. Some people say creativity is in the realm of children, so like being creative is just for kids. Can you think of how a child's curiosity and willingness to explore may help you understand a college discipline that is unfamiliar to you now? Write a reflection on how you could use curiosity toward one of your more difficult courses. So thinking about how kids are curious, they ask questions, they explore, they take risks, they don't necessarily hear about failing. How can you think of that perspective, how you could use that to understand a difficult or new college course or college discipline? So kind of think about how you could use that curiosity towards a difficult course or towards a difficult concept in one of your courses. So you're thinking about that creativity and how it relates to kids and how you could utilize that. So that is your post for chapter 7. You want to make sure you respond your original post by Wednesday and then go back in and post to 2 different classmates by Sunday. Please make sure your original responses are 150 words or more. All right, so then you have a chapter 7 assignment. It's called What Would Bugs Do? It's going to open up into a PDF that you can type in, and it gives you a little scenario. So part of chapter 7 talks about like critical thinking, creative thinking. So this is going to be more of your creative thinking process. Your institution has cut funding to the library, tutoring, and wellness centers, effective immediately. You know that you and your fellow students will suffer because you're not able to access these services, and what would you do? So kind of think about like what you would do, and then there's a whole list of famous characters or actual people. So it goes from Bugs to Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, Jay-Z, Malala Yousafzai, and Harry Potter. If you're not familiar with who any of these people are, please feel free to Google them, just so you can get some kind of background. My guess is you'll know at least half of the people. Again, it's a mix of fictional people and then real characters. And so you're going to think through, okay, like what would Bugs Bunny do in this situation? So I've had people say things like, he would dig a hole from the bank to the college and he would steal money and that's how they get their funding. I don't know. It's obviously like very wild. Where more like maybe Mother Teresa, she would raise awareness and she would pray. And Harry Potter would cast a spell, so like lots of different things. So what would each of those people do in this situation? What's the most realistic? So obviously it's going to be more of one of the actual people. What's more exciting? It might be more fictional or it may not be. When you're done, make sure you hit save with your changes so you can upload that into the Dropbox over here in the chapter 7. So again, feel free to Google if you're not sure who any of these people are. Hopefully most of it looks familiar, but there's no issue with you trying to Google and get a little context for what they may have done or how they might have approached this. All right, and then after your chapter 7 assignment, you will do your chapter 7 quiz. So question 1 on the quiz says, being open-minded is often attributed to like creative thinkers. Do you think you're open-minded? Do you think that it depends on the subject? And then discuss a situation where you had to question your open-mindedness. Question 2, in the text it says, Mark Twain says there's no such thing as a new idea. Do you agree or disagree? And defend and use some examples to support your opinion. So he says there's no such thing as a new idea. There's no way to go wrong with this as long as you support your answer and give those examples. So you can think of like inventions, ideas, creations, whatever to kind of help you with that. Question 3, this semester, so in the last 5 weeks, have you tried doing anything in a different way that you've done it in the past? Like studying or time management, anything like that. How do you feel about trying something new? What's your reaction to trying something new? If you have already tried it, what was the outcome? Are you sticking with the new method or going back? So just kind of discuss your experience with new methods and new approaches. Question 4, can you recall a time where you had to use clear and logical thinking to resolve a conflict at work? If not at work, maybe at home or in class, and then discuss the situation. And then finally, question 5, we talk about metacognition, thinking about thinking. When did you first become aware of your thinking processes and how you know the things you know? When did you first question your thinking, your thoughts, your conclusions, and has that changed over time? And so think about how metacognition has an impact on your thoughts and consequent actions. So go ahead and look through those. And remember, your quizzes, you need to respond in 2 to 5 complete sentences. When you're done, make sure you submit that as well. All right, so that is all for Chapter 7. Your original post in Chapter 7 discussion by Wednesday for weekly attendance, responded to classmates by Sunday, and then your Chapter 7 assignment and Chapter 7 quiz due Sunday as well. I will be back with your Chapter 8 focused assignment video.